What's going on? What's going on? So we are here. We are finally here. From the Bottoms to the Top podcast. I am your host, D. Swain, and I am creating this show so that you guys can hear and that we can educate you guys in the real estate world and also interview other real estate professionals and entrepreneurs so that they can tell their from the bottom to the top story. And one of the awesome things about my growth is the podcast and the books that I read is they say you want to get yourself around people that have the things that you inspire to have and that are doing the things that you want to have. So without further ado, I want to announce my co-host, one of Advance One and McKeever's top real estate agent, real estate investor, and entrepreneur, Anthony Wolford. Thank you so much for being here, man. I really appreciate it.
Opportunity.
You're welcome.
I just want to thank you, man. I appreciate this. That's all I do every day is try to give others hope. So I'm glad that you got this platform. Maybe I might say something or somebody might hear something in your podcast that may inspire them to, do something.
Right.
So
right.
I'm just glad about that.
Right. And that's what it's about, man. Getting up and doing something. You could dream it, you can think it, but it's about action that's going to get you where you want to be. Right. So, Anthony, man, let's get into it, man. Let's talk about you and let's learn a little bit about yourself. So, where are you from?
Oh, man, I'm from right here, Stockton, California. Born and raised. Nothing special about me. My life is pretty much like others in the city, single parent household.
Okay.
Raising the projects,
okay.
In poverty. But I made some bad decisions, but my good decisions, I believe, outweighed the bad ones that I made.
That's great.
I had a lot of love around me, so that's why I was able to overcome. Like my mom, she gave me all the love that I needed. So it kind of helped me. Just the influence from my uncles, my aunts, my older cousins. It was just a blessing, man. And, I'm standing before you today because of a lot of the influences that I had in my life in spite of the way I grew up or my environment.
Okay.
So I'm just glad. And
that's beautiful, man. I'm sure your family, they'd be glad to see where you at today.
Right.
And I'm sure they have a lot to say on that. And so what did your mom do for a profession?
Like I said, we was public housing, man.
Okay.
Wasn't too many opportunities out there. She had kids real young. So, I watched her struggle.
Right.
So I just, got caught up in that environment a little while, but I just got tired of it, so I started making better decisions and wanted to better myself and my family.
Right.
So it was my mom who actually paid for me to go do the real estate course many years ago. But I was young and wasn't really into anything like that. Still was out trying to be cool. So I didn't really pay attention, was sleeping in the class. And
got it.
It wasn't until my older years, just recently, when I was like, man, I got to do this and I got it done the first shot. So I've been doing it ever since. So I'm just thankful that she did help me in that manner. So.
Okay. And was she in real estate herself, or did she just tell you about it?
No. Okay. It was actually an interest of mine because I was working with this guy, and he had multiple properties, and I would kind of like pick his brain, and so I told her I was interested in it. I thought I was.
Right.
So she made it happen. So I didn't take it serious, even to this day I feel bad about that because that was a sacrifice for her.
Right.
At the time, the cost of the course.
Right.
But, I think I made it right.
Okay.
20 times over.
Right.
So a little bit about me, man. I've always kept a job. I've always had a plan.
Okay.
I just kind of put my money away, and just for when opportunities come,
Right.
I would be ready.
Right.
I managed properties for people while I was working.
Wow.
Then I was able to start acquiring my own properties. And so with the real estate agents that I was using, they were doing my business, and I would get them referrals, and I was just real good at connecting the dots for them.
Right.
But they was getting paid.
Right.
So I'm like, I can do this myself. So
Right.
I was like, it's time. I'm gonna just go ahead and do it.
Do it.
And when you get into entrepreneurism, it's about trusting yourself.
Right.
So I got to a point to where I was like, I'm gonna just trust myself.
Right.
And I'm gonna just back it up with my hustle, and I should be fine.
Right.
And sure enough, I'm fine.
Exactly. Right. Yeah, man. You're doing big things at Advance One. And so where do you think, like, where exactly did it turn around for you to where you were just like at what age were you when you were just like, man, I gotta get in for myself?
I had to been about maybe like 20.
Okay. So you've been at it for a while.
Yeah,
okay.
About 20, and things were just kind of like monotonous, and I was looking at everybody goes through this when they look at where they're headed in life,
right.
Their future, their purpose, and so I just kind of went in the right direction, I would say. Right.
Oh man, and I can definitely feel that. I feel like with life, man, it's like a road.
Right.
It's literally a road, and and you get these exits, right?
Yep.
You get these little exits, and it's like you can go to this party and go turn up, or you can go study in these books, and you can, and then
exactly.
With that exit, and then you go down this road, and then as you get the, your exits start to decide as you go down those roads. I hope that makes sense for my viewers.
Yeah, and it's got to be a point in your life where you got to be tired of that exit party and turn it up, and it amounts to nothing. You got to get tired of that.
You got to at some point, and it's sad if you wait until you about 40, or you get up there in age to where you like, everybody I'm partying with ain't really my age no more.
The sooner the better.
The sooner. Oh man, you just can't say that enough. One of my things was I was always like, okay, I'm gonna work my butt off in my 20s, and then I'm gonna get into the entrepreneurial thing in my 30s. But then when I start getting closer to my 30s, it's coming pretty quick. Yeah. And I'll be 29 this year, and one of my boys, he was telling me, he was like, man, do it now. Like, why not do it now? He was like, man, you 30 gonna come. That's coming regardless. And that's when I started. I was like, okay, boom, let me knock on real estate door. But that's my story. But so yeah, man, so about how long do you think it took you to build the real estate business that you have right now, as far as your investments and doing the real estate sales side?
I would say about 8 years.
Okay.
8 years, and then once I got into the real estate business as an agent, then it kind of enhanced everything for me, because more capital to invest, and also just helping others. And then being in the business, you get to see all kind of deals. You build relationships with other agents. You build relationship with your clients. So when anything comes available, they contact you, and then you could just make the best of it.
Right.
Whether it be an investment for yourself, or something you can share with your buyers.
Right.
So.
Right. And that's one thing, man. That's one thing I gravitated towards you, man. Was the fact that you said the exact same thing was the reason why I got into real estate. So when I started getting into investing, I can do my own deals and do my own transactions. Right. When I used to watch videos and things like that on real estate investing, they used to always say, oh, you got to put aside 6% for a real estate agent. And I'm like, I hear real estate agents, they do a lot of customer service. They do a lot of helping people. And I'm just like, I love helping people. Doing customer service, that's something I've been, indulged in. And I got to do 80 hours every week, every 2 weeks. And so it was like, let me just get, my wife actually was the one who gave me the idea. It was like, do real estate, so that you can build. Because working a regular job, man, it's going to take you years before you can get a first investment property. Right. So she's like, boom, do real estate, get that brand up, get that going. Then you could get into investing. Right. And so I was like, beautiful. Like, okay, that's what got me here. And man, so I can't say it enough, man. I love being around like-minded individuals and someone that have exactly, where I want to be. And so I remember when we first had that conversation, like you said, man, I think we talked for like an hour, just an hour and a half. Exactly. From I look at you as my mentor, and it was just like, I just asking questions and getting the feedback. It was awesome as far as, my first time interacting with the agent. Right. Most people, they don't really want to talk to you until you pass. So it was awesome, to connect with you.
Like I said, before I got into business, agents, they was cool. They was my friends.
Oh.
Now I'm a peer, one of their peers in the business.
It's changed. It changed.
We don't even talk no more.
I bet. I can only imagine because you competition now.
Yeah,
Yes. Right. Because
I don't see it as competition. Like we work
peers.
Together.
We in the same field.
We in the same field. We provide a service. We need each other to provide that service. I don't see why it has to be a competition.
Right.
Like it's enough business
there is
for everybody.
Right. That's one of the mindset things. This dude was talking about. A lot of people they don't do certain things because they think everybody's doing it. Right. But one thing you got to realize is nobody's going to do it how you do it.
Right.
Nobody's going to do it or take the spin off, or nobody's going to be who you are. Right. So it's like you got to just step aside. They say it's a 20%, or what is it? There's a 20% of good agents and that's successful versus there's 80% that are not. And me, every day, whether I'm getting clientele, I'm always working to be in that 20%. Right. Even if I don't have the business, I'm getting that mindset of what the 20%ers have, and I'm going to keep growing, keep poking at it.
Yeah, keep working.
Keep working, man.
That's the advantage.
Right.
The 20%, they're working. The 80%,
dipping
they got
in
licenses. They got good careers already. They got licenses just to hold, to help out their family. But the 20%, those are the ones that are working.
Right.
And half of those people are probably just part-time.
Right. Oh, exactly. And I see that big time, like you said, people, they got that good job, that good, what I like to call it, security. Mm-hmm. They got that. And then so it's kind of just like, well, when real estate's hot and I got people coming to me, then I put in the work. But, they don't want to go get the business.
Right.
But yeah, man. And so that's, I love that, and I love having you here so we can talk about that, and then I can get your experience, and I can hear from that as I develop and I get better in this business.
So we want to hear about you.
Yeah, that was the next transition, man. So me, bottom boy, West Oakland. I'm gonna always be that because that's who I am, and that's who made me who I am today. I really learned at a young age, man. Oakland is fast. Oakland is real fast. I was doing things at 13 I had no business doing. Let's get right into it. I was born and raised Oakland, California. What I remember vividly exactly was the first place I moved to was in West Oakland. Lower Bottom is the name of the neighborhood. I went to Prescott Elementary. And I remember, just going there my first day in the first grade. And from there, man, my life, just so many things just started to happen. Just so many. It's just crazy. You don't even realize you're going through life. You start hitting 15, 16. You're like, oh, man, life is catching up. But elementary, man, Oakland, land of hustlers, man. Land of just getting any opportunity they can, whether if it's legal or illegal, And one of the things, I forgot to mention when we were talking the last time was, we did this thing. It was like we were in elementary school, right? We were on part of this basketball team called St. Patrick's. And with St. Patrick's, man, we were actually pretty good, right? But I don't know, man, one of my friends, he just had this like, hey, man, my auntie got a computer and a printer. He's just like, what we can do is we can put a put a flyer for donations. You know, oh, this is our basketball team, but we pocket the money.
Right.
Man, so we everywhere. I'm talking, and that's one thing I used to love about the BART, man. Back then, we didn't pay for BART. We snuck on BART.
So let me guess. El Cerrito BART by Safeway was the best spot. Huh?
Oh, yeah, bro. Yes. So, we be in El Cerrito. We be in Daly City. We be in Piedmont. We be anywhere we knew outside of our neighborhood because they know what we doing. Man, so we be on BART. Hey, sir, would you like to donate to into our basketball team? Man, I'm talking.
Still doing that.
I bet. Hey, and I would invest just because I was that youngster. Hey, man, here's $20.
Right.
So and man, you know, sometimes we've had people like that. I had this one white lady gave me and my homie $20, and you know, and so it's like in one day you can make $70 to $100 and just asking for donations.
Right.
And so man, like we were doing just little crazy shit like that, man. And I was just, you know, elementary school doing those little funny games, man. But things started getting serious. You know, going into middle school, that's when it was funny because my boys that were already in middle school while I was in elementary school, they were like, hey, man, you know, you go to different classes and you don't got to go to all of them. And it was funny because it's like that's not even true. Like, right. You just ditching class. Right. So, man, so immediately going into middle school was bad. Middle school, I just automatically just start going in the wrong direction because I'm like, bro, we ain't got to go to school. Like, so like half of my classes I won't even go to. But then, man, that's when I start hanging around the wrong crowds. You know, I want to get into my criminal history, you know, and it's not something I'm proud of, but it's something I've grown from. Right. And that's one thing I like talking about it because it's something that I can speak to and I can tell you, look where I'm at today. You know, change is big with me. And, but, you know, my first time getting arrested, man, we were young kids. I was with these two older cats, and we were at this BART station. And, man, so it was 12th Street BART station, and they got these, like, levels. Mm-hmm. And we were at the bottom level, and I'm talking nobody was there. And it was kind of dumb because right before we got stopped by BART police, like I said, man, a lot of us, we didn't pay for BART back then. This was before BART police was even created. Mm-hmm. So we used to just hop BART. Just the tellers can't tell us nothing. We'd be 15, 20 deep, you know, just badass kids, and you can't tell us nothing. Right. So, but then that was when BART police came around. So one day we hopped the gate, they stopped us, got all our information, then we go and commit this crime. So it's three of us and three of them. It's these young kids selling candy. So my partner like, hey, bro, they look your age. Go take this money and go see, you know, if they don't got a lot, you know, call us. If they do, then we know they ain't sold nothing. So boom, I said, hey, man, let me get 3 candy bars. And dude like, oh, man, we only got 2. Come on, man. Come on down. And so, man, my partners, long story short, man, we ended up taking everything, took their cell phones, took their candy, took the money that they had. And, man, and it's crazy because we was waiting on BART. We just walked home. Stupid. Right. So we just walked home. And then, mind you, I'm at the house. Didn't think nothing of it. Nothing of it. And then my mom, boom, I'm in the back. I used to like making beats and stuff, so I'm playing around on the keyboard. And my mom like, Derek, the police outside. Bruh. And then so get arrested for that. My boy Derek. It's funny because I was always the youngest, so they always felt like they needed to remind me, don't say nothing. Right. Don't say nothing. You're not going to go down. Don't say nothing. And, of course, long story short, man, we got out of there. I didn't go to jail that time, but, you know, that was just that was the start, man. That was the start. And, you know, that was just me trying to really just trying to be something that I wasn't. Trying to just adapt. That's what it is. Adapt to my environment, you know. And so going forward, man, I got pinched. My first time actually doing time was another like strong arm robbery situation. But man, I got caught quick. Like the police, and this was kind of a lot of situations that I was in. Just getting. You know, it was always just like God, like come, let's get him. Right. So and like I said, it could be 30 of us doing stupid stuff around the city. I'm always the one that got caught somehow. Always the one. It could be 30 of us. I'm the one. But I really felt like that was God looking out for me. I really do. And so, man, my first time actually going to juvenile hall, man, it was a wild experience. I went down for another strong arm robbery, but it was weird seeing
juvenile down in Oakland.
Yep, Alameda County Juvenile Hall. You know, I went there and it was crazy. The crazy thing for me at first, because I was scared, you know, going into it. Like I said, I wasn't the toughest kid on the block, but I got comfortable as soon as I started seeing people I knew. I'm like, oh, I ain't seen bro in a minute. Hey, bro, so then so now I start clicking with people that I grew up with, and then it was stupid, and that was my first time. I did 3 weeks in juvenile hall. I got out on home supervision, and then but still in that crowd, in that environment, and just to I still kept getting in trouble, still stayed in the mix, and then I ended up actually getting a long stint. I got sent to a group home, and that was, man, this was basically, so when I got out on home supervision, still doing stupid stuff, end up going on a run. And I was on a run with my partner in Vallejo. So we was doing little stupid stuff here in Vallejo. And then the last thing that got me caught up was, man, we went to Food Max. It was like the week of Thanksgiving. It was the week of Thanksgiving, man. And my partner was like, look, man, we got you. Anybody run up, we going to sleep them. Just push the cart to the car. No, ain't nothing. I was pretty fast back then. And, man, bruh. Oh, man. So we go, boom. I got like $200 worth of groceries running out with this cart. My partners around me. But then next minute, when all the Food Max employees start getting on us, they go. They scatter. So I'm by myself with all these fucking groceries. The shit was heavy, so I just let the shit go and start trying to take off. They end up snatching me up. Small little white dude slam me. Boom. Wow. And then he had his knee on my neck. And the crazy thing is that when he was dispatched, he's like, yeah, I got this 24-year-old male. And the whole time sitting there like, bro, I'm 13. I'm 13 years old. No, maybe like 14. But it was just the fact that nigga, he thought I was just this grown-ass man. Right. I probably had like a little chin stash, if anything, or a little scum stash. But, yeah, man, so end up going, did the time there, end up going to a group home in Atascadero, California. That's about 20 minutes outside of San Luis Obispo. Wow. So when I got there, I knew I was doing the time because I knew I couldn't run. I didn't know where to go. I think it was like the first Greyhound station was in the next city was Paso Robles. So, man, I was there for 16 to 18 months. Wow. I was there for a long time, man. So I went there. I finished my 8th grade year, and then I started high school there. And then, yeah, man, that's where I learned how to adapt to my environment. That's how I really learned to, because I went out there. I'm the street kid. I'm from the city. I ain't with none of this country BS. I'm town through and through to this day. And, yeah, man, so I go to this hick town in it's Atascadero, one of the small towns, bro. I think they got like man, it's so small. But, so I ended up going to the high school there, man. And the high school is literally a white sheet of paper with a black dot and a brown dot for blacks and Mexicans. Like, it was just it was, bro, it wasn't that many minorities there. And it's crazy. It was good in sports. I actually played basketball for him and everything. But that's where I really just learned how to be outside of Oakland, how to be outside of the person who I thought I was supposed to be. Right. And so, like, a long time, bro, I was a lot disconnected. Like, I didn't talk to nobody.
It takes a while to realize that it's a whole world out there.
Yeah, exactly.
You think you're just confined to this one little environment, but it's a whole world. Different things happening. It's just it's mind blowing when you get to that age and you realize that.
Yeah, it's it's funny. It's mind blowing, but at the same time, it really allows you to learn yourself. And so being there, man, I was around different people I've never been around. I've never really been around white people like that, other than like teachers and stuff. You didn't really respect them. Right. Yeah, man. So I was there for 16 months. When I ended up getting released out of there, and one thing you said about family, one thing I loved. So the owner of the group home the group home was called Aaron's Boys Home, and the owner of the group home name was Humphreys. And I love how you touched on family because, he used to always bring these prison tapes. Some of y'all gonna end up in prison. Y'all going to prison. And I was just like, man, why every time this dude come, he talking about prison? Like, man, show me something that's gonna help me change my mind and get out of where if I am going there. So one day he pulled me aside because I used to always like, man, why do y'all watch this tape? So one day he pulled me aside, man, and he said the only way I see you being successful is your family. At the time it was this was when I was about to go live with my grandma, And he met my brother. He knew my brother.
Shout out to Granny Swain.
Granny Swain, thank you, man. I appreciate. Yeah, shout out to Granny Swain, man. Yeah, she took me at a rough time, at a very rough time. So yeah, man. So getting into that, I got out of my group home. My mom was living in Pasadena. I wasn't trying to go to Pasadena. She had 3 of my younger siblings that I knew it was going to be a handful. So my Granny Swain took me and my sister in. And man, like I said, man, I got out. It was another world, bro. It was a totally another world. Like I said, I went from fighting and to strong arm robberies to they shooting now. Mm-hmm. I'll never forget. I saw one of my best friends, been knowing dudes since elementary school. Still talk to this day. To this day, our kids play with each other. And bro, when I first got out, we grew up in the same neighborhood. I went to go see him, and he like, bro, it's serious out here. Since you've been gone, like it ain't no more chonking. Like, nigga, it's easier to just pop a nigga. And I never forget, right? So he was like, look, brother, check this out what I got, right? So he pulled out, he had a little Deuce 5, little 25. So I'm looking at this, I'm like, dang, bro, like, just my first time really seeing a gun. Mm-hmm. And then I'm like 16 at this time. And then, mind you, he go in the closet. He said, yeah, I also got this. Pulled out a Mossberg pump shotgun. I'm like, bro. I'm like, this is what we into. He's like, bro, this is how it is. It's how it gotta be. And so, bro, so that was that. And so I got back in the mix, back in Oakland. And then one of the biggest transition in my life was the case I caught before going to move with my brother. And the best thing I love about that was, man, this dude took me. He was figuring it out himself. But, he tell me to this day, man, there was no way that I'm going to move forward through life knowing my brother is stuck in this situation. Right. So whether if it's I can't escape the situation I'm getting in Oakland or I keep going back to jail. So, man, so basically I was going to Dewey Academy. I was going to Dewey Academy at the time. And this dude that I was cool with, he brought a gun to school. Mind you, it's crazy, right? I grew up in Oakland where, bro, I'm talking kids bringing shotguns to school, semi-automatics to school, pistols to school, and not once there was a school shooting. And I'm not even, like, laughing about that. But it's like, not once there was a school shooting. This is how you got to protect yourself. Right. This is how you got to live so you can survive, bro, in school. And so, yeah, bro, so one of my partners, he brought a gun to school, and they called his name over the speakerphone. So they like, David Cunningham, come to the office. I didn't mean to say his name. Come to the office and go. So then the dude like, hey, man, let me hold this for me. So I'm like, no problem. Like, you my partner. Right. It's cool. So, but mind you, security guard looking right at us. When I put the gun in my waistband, I look dead at him. I look dead at him. So man, bro. So boom, left school. Mind you, I'm down the street at this liquor store chopping up with my partners. These other dudes I went to school with. Police come, boom, 2 police cars. Mind you, I'm about like, man, I don't know no cuts. I don't know no bandos. I don't know nothing I can go hit and hide. So I'm just like, hopefully it is just a truancy sweep. No, I think somebody actually like called the police, and then then I got caught up with the gun, and then so I went down for that. I ain't say no names. I ain't, at the end of the day, if you get caught with it, it's yours. It don't matter what the story is. It don't matter. You going down. Right. So I did the time. I went to I did a couple months in juvenile hall, and then I went to Camp Sweeney. And actually, I'm very blessed because I almost went to CYA because this is like my 3rd offense, and so they like, bro, getting worse, bro, every offense is getting badder and badder. Right. So, my DA, my public pretender was trying to get me off. On anything, I ain't been on ankle monitor. I went straight to a group home. So he's just trying these little things, and then they start pitching CYA because my behaviors aren't getting better. So then he's like, "But you never been to camp, so we can try and pitch that, and then you better not ever get in no other situations." Right. So boom, pitch camp. They took camp. I did 7. I was sentenced to 6 to 9 months in camp. I did 7, and I never forget, man. It was the weekend before I started getting my home passes, and my brother and my mom came to visit me, and after I told my stories, whatever, my brother, he just had this serious face on the whole time, like Like, I got to get this dude out of here. Like, it's not where he belong. And I remember my brother, he was just like, after I got done telling him where I'm at or whatever, he like, look, man, I got a good setup in Fresno. You know, I'm doing pretty good with my promoting. You know, I got a good job. Almost done with school. He's like, look, you come to Fresno. You know, you coming with me. I'm trying to get you around a different environment and get you out of this situation. So he was like, immediately, I don't care what, because last time he was trying to get me when I first got out of my group home, but they was like, he too young. He was like, I want you to tell them you going to be homeless if you don't come with me. My grandma got to a serious accident. He's like, grandma can't take care of you no more. Mom mom got enough going on. So let her know if you can't come with me, you gonna have to be in a foster system. I was like 16, 17, so it was only 2 years that he really had to be responsible. So boom, and I did that. And then luckily, man, like my brother wasn't playing, bro. When I got out of my camp, and it was blessing, man. I did 7 months straight. I did a straight program. I've been through a group home, so I knew how to pimp this and get through it. Mm-hmm. And bro, I left camp and I did this job thing while I was in camp. It was called Fresh Start Cafe. So I left camp with $1,700. Wow. So I never forget, man. My uncle was the one always picking me up and dropping me off after my grandma got in her situation. And my uncle was like, what my uncle say? So my uncle came pick me up, and then I'm looking at the yard, bro. Looking at dudes playing basketball, looking at the dudes in the rec room, looking at everything. And I told myself right then and there that I would never be in this situation ever again. And 12 years later, bro, I still live to that. And I'm very, very, very thankful to myself. Because I'm telling you, man, change starts with the decision, bro. When you tell yourself, I'm not going to do this shit no more. I got a legacy to live for. I got family. I got grandma, sister, brother, everybody that want to see me be successful and live for it, bro. And I had to make that change. And I knew Fresno was going to be that turnaround. And, man, it was beautiful. So I first met my brother wasn't playing. He got me right out of Oakland. I was on the first train from Oakland to Fresno. Packed all my stuff. Yeah, man. My brother, man, as soon as I got there, man, he said, I don't care what you do. As long as you got good grades, bro, you can do whatever you want. And I kept that, bro. My first semester out in Fresno, I had 3.5. Wow. And then that's one thing it just tells you, man, when you change your environment and you change the things that you're doing and you change your behaviors, you can accomplish anything that you want to, man. Like it's golden. So I came out there, my brother's a big promoter. He's the promoter. Like back then, there was no him and his business partner were the promoters.
Was you helping work the parties and stuff like that?
I did. So I helped do the door. I did the door a couple times while in high school. That was actually one of my first jobs. I was making money doing that. He hired me to do the door. So I did that quite a bit. But man, I hated it. I hated doing the door. Just thinking about it makes me cringe. Man, I'm talking. Man, people be broke. People just be tripping over $5. No, yeah. It's not even like turning them away. It's just like I'm not here to negotiate prices with you. Right. I'm supposed to just collect and you go. Right. But people like, oh, it's supposed to be $5. Well, $5 until 10. It's 10:30 now. I need $10 now. And so you run into little stupid stuff like that. But other than that, it was cool being a high school student because it was like, so I was in high school going to these clubs, going to these parties, every event. And it was like, so I worked the door until about maybe 1:30, club go to 2. And then I got 30 minutes to party, 30 minutes to club. But this is why I'm in high school. And yeah, man. But then so my brother had to promote it every week. And then he did the back to school parties. Now, these are bringing between 500 to 800 people. And my brother was a Kappa, so he used to promote to SoCal Greeks, NorCal Greeks, in other colleges around, like in Bakersfield and stuff like that. And, yeah, man, really just ringing it. Wow. And it was a beautiful thing to be a part of. My brother really did his thing in the promoting world. But then, other promoters start coming about. So once he saw that be the new wave, he was like, let's go into our own business. Let me start my own restaurant. He started a restaurant. But actually, the club that he was promoting was a club he eventually ended up buying once they went out of business. Right. And that's the hoodie I'm wearing right now, Cocky's Bar and Grill. Shout out to my oldest brother, James, and his business partner, Mike Smith. Love y'all to death. And, them two, they took me in. They took me in. And it was like, look, we gonna show you, we gonna teach you, you know, how to just be somebody, do something with yourself. Right. And man, it was beautiful. You know, I went from hanging with criminals and hustlers to hanging with Kappas and Qs. You know, wow. And so, oh man, it was exciting. It was very exciting to to see my brother and his growth and just be a part of it, man. Right. And man, and then Kaki's the best food. Best chicken I ever had. And I'm not even saying because that's my brother. It's the quality that he puts into it, made fresh daily. You know.
I'm looking forward to it.
Oh yeah, man. We already got our plan scheduled. We gonna play hooky and go down there one day. But yeah, man. So you know that's where I really developed myself was in Fresno. How I really learned myself and how to gather myself as an adult and be responsible and take care of myself. And you know, one of the biggest things to my story where I feel like that got me the mindset of where I am today is my wife. You know, I met my wife at the club, you know, at my brother's club, actually, at Kaki's Bar and Grill. And I'll never forget, man.
That's where you guys met at.
Yeah.
At Kaki's?
Yeah.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah, man. So it was crazy, right? So it was crazy, right? So we met. Her and my partner pulled up. And, you know, we, not no more, but we pot heads back in the day. So her and my partner pulled up. And my partner like, hey, you trying to smoke? And I'm like, yeah, like, it's funny because my brother's restaurant just closed, so I had some chicken. So I'm eating chicken, and she like, my wife like, you need some napkins? Like, you know, don't fuck up my back seat. So man, it was awesome that, man, so I'm like, bro, this girl fine, she smoked. You know, and then but she came with my partner, so I'm like, you know what? I'm like, you know me, I'm all about respect when it comes to my homies and what they got going on. And so I was like, I'm gonna wait till I can, you know, holler at him and make sure he ain't, you know, in the situation with her. So man, bro, so it went like 2-3 weeks, and I'm like, so I see my partner, I'm like, hey man, you know, that girl you was with, she, you know, he's like, no, that's just a homie. I think she's single too. So I'm like, all right, next time I see her, I'm on it. Then I didn't see her, but I didn't see her for like 2-3 weeks, like a solid minute. Wow. And then, so it was funny, man. So the next time I saw her was at Kaki's again at my brother's bar, and I'm looking at her. I'm just like, I'm faded. I've had a couple drinks, and but the whole time I realize I'm staring at her. I'm trying in my mind, just like, is that the girl? I was kicking it with that one time, and so in my mind I'm sitting there just contemplating, right. And then, because I'm staring at her dress, I'm staring at her here, you know, looking at the checking her out. And then next minute, when I fully gaze in, she looking right back at me, like what's up, like. And then that's when she was like, she said my nickname. My nickname's Pootie, and so she was like, what's up, Pootie? Like, Pootie. Yeah, that's a childhood nickname. And then, I'm always been a gentleman about mine. Right. You know, I let her know, no, you can call me Derek. You know, I never. If you know me as that, I run with it. But introducing myself, I'm always Derek. So let her know, woo woo. She's like, you know, you staring so hard, you know, buy me a drink. I wasn't that type of dude. You know, my brother told me when I first turned 21, a girl gonna smile in your face just to get that drink. But once that drink is bought, it's gone. So don't be out here just buying people drinks. Right. So I always had that philosophy, like, hey, we ain't already commingling, I ain't buying that. Right. So so I kept it 100. I told her, I was like, look, I usually don't do this, but I'll buy you a drink if you give me your number. I was interested. You know, I think I just got paid Tuesday a couple dollars. I wasn't tripping. So then, my wife, the homie at the time, so boom, gave me her number, bought the drink, and we started chopping it up. And then after the club, she ended up hitting me, and was like, you know, let's you know, you trying to smoke? Let's match a blunt or two. So I'm like, cool. And man, I'm talking. So club probably into 2. We connected about 2:30. We was up talking to like 5-6. Just chopping it up. And it was like, I think what really connected was I always had the inspiration of being an entrepreneur. That was always always knew that's what I wanted to do. I just didn't know what I wanted to do. So, I was telling those things and telling her, I was thinking about stocks and stuff like that. And she was talking. She had it on like, hey, look, I got it. This is my draft. This is my goals. This is where I'm trying to go. So she instantly, she had it down. And so she's like, I'm in school trying to get my BA right now. Next thing is law school. Fresno State. Yeah. And so she's like, next thing after that is getting my going to law school. And so, man, I ain't never in my life met anybody that inspired to be a lawyer. So it was like, for me, on top of the beauty, was like, bro, this is it.
Right.
This is wifey right here. And from then on, bro, not only have we not been apart, but God has blessed me to give me everything that I needed. Not necessarily what I wanted, but God has given me everything I needed from when I've been able to commit and just build with this one woman. You feel me? And I love it. And it's because, man, like, I've come from some humble beginnings. You know, I come from so much, and then to just have this woman, and that was the best thing too. And my wife, she always feels the type of way, but I didn't just fall in love with my wife. I fell in love with her family. You know, when we first met, her grandparents still married. You know, her parents were still married, still together, and it was big for me. Mm-hmm. You know, I grew up. My mom, you know, I had a stepdad, but you know, it was always it wasn't stable. You know, and so it was just like seeing that, and it's still, I'm like, I want to be a part of that. Yeah. And so I knew I always came correct when it came to my wife. Even when things were rocky, I used to tell her, I'm not gonna get you off the wagon that you were on. So if I'm pulling you off of that wagon, let me go. I want you to be the biggest lawyer, and I want you to be the biggest you can be. And if I'm taking you away from that, let me go. But I always told myself I wanted to be her biggest supporter. So, you know, when she making those speeches and she thanking God and her parents, right, I'm right next to her there. You feel me? You know, she shouting out her husband. So, you know, that, and I can't thank her enough, man. She's giving me the mindset. She's giving me the drive. I'm talking, bro, and I'm not even saying off some lovey-dovey shit. She says some mean shit to me before. You know, she says some things that, you know, that really had you look at yourself in the mirror like, wow, like, she feel that way? But at the same time, I'll be a lie to say that didn't make me better. Right. Everything my wife has told me, I've always been able to, like, okay, let me try and spin it this way. Let me try and go about it this way. And I love it because my wife, she loves PR, public relations. So she's always like, hey, instead of just posting in black and white, won't you add some little trinkets and stuff here? And so, man, her being a part of my business, man, is so big for me, man. And, you know, one of my, like I said, I want to be a real estate mogul, big in real estate, broker, whatever. I'm going to always have that legal representation. Right. So I'm like, all right, who's your lawyer? I talk to her tonight. Right. I see her when I get home. What you need, you know? So
that's dope, man.
Yeah, man, and pretty much, you know, that's me. That's who I am today. Young dude, humble beginnings, and you know, I'm married with 2 kids, with my wife, and you know, we continue to grow, continue to learn, and get better in what we want to do, regardless of what it is. You know, this podcast is just one thing that I'm doing to build my audience and grow my business. I like having a conversation. I like talking, as you can see. Right. So
shout out to my wife, LaTanya. I love you. But yeah, it's important that you have a partner that supports you 110%.
That's big.
That's
big.
Ain't nothing like it.
Right. No.
You need that support system.
You really do.
For each other. Like, when I get tired of carrying the load, she's there to pick it up. When she gets tired, I'm there to pick up the slack. Yep. But when we both running on all cylinders, whoo, it's gone.
No, and exactly, man, and I can feel that so much because, man, like I said, man, I'm willing to do anything to see my wife achieve where she wants to, and I've worked full time, and she just focused on school, and and it was so beautiful, man. So you know, I've always been customer service. You know, I believe in that, and I think, you know, you can grow any business with treating people right, and, you know, just treating people good. And you know, my wife was big with that, man, and it was beautiful. I forgot where I was going, but yeah, so I think relationships are important. Having somebody that really supports you. And now I can go back to what I was talking about. Because, yeah, you know, I really had to go back and, you know, figure out something, you know, because I lost my job, you know, at Blue Shield of California as a customer service representative. And I was like, I got to find something to provide. I got to be a provider. But my wife was like, you have done so much for me and allow me to get her bachelor's. Then, she went on and got her master's, and she's always, kept a job here and there. But when she needed to focus on school, she was able to do that because of what I was able to put in, in that. And so when it came time for me to really like, okay, let me do something that I want to do, which was real estate investing. And then she was like, become a realtor first, learn the game, understand the things, so then you can do your own transactions. And then so with that love and support, man, she, when I lost my job, she was like, don't worry about a job. Go apply, but go sign into a real estate school and get it done. And so, man, I didn't do no plan. Mind you, I hate school. I hate learning. But it was like, this is what I wanted to do, and I'm going to sacrifice whatever to get through this part. And, man, so my first Tuesday was the school I went to, and they said it's going to take 2 months.
A year?
Oh, no. It was 2 months to finish the school. So it was 2 months. And they told me on October 26th was the last time I could take the date that I could officially take my last test. I was done with that program on October 26th. Like, I was not playing, And so once I finished that, boom, got my license, and here I am. But no, and my wife, she allowed me to just focus on getting through school. Working and trying to do school would have been, I probably wouldn't have finished on as quick as I wanted to. So I was very thankful that she gave one up for the team just like I did. But like, that goes back to what you're saying. Support is very big in a partner, that can believe in what you're doing, and willing to help you get there.
So you went through the first Tuesday course.
Yeah.
And it took you about 2 months.
To finish the course, yeah.
2 months to finish the course. After you finished the course, how long before you had a test date?
Man, 8 weeks. It took a while. It took about like 8 weeks before I got a test date.
And when you took the test, did you pass it on the first one?
Nope.
Second one.
Second try.
So you had, after that first test date, how long before the second test date?
Oh, I gave myself 3 weeks exactly.
Oh, okay.
3 weeks exactly. Yeah, So
they automatically scheduled it, or you had to call and schedule a new one?
You can do it online. So basically, once you fail, they give you the paperwork, and you go back home, and then you reapply. And then you do that. I think you got to pay $60 to reapply, and so I paid that. But I made sure I was ready this time because I can save the first time. I made a mistake of thinking that I can cut a corner. This lady that took that introduced me to the program. She was like, "Study the crash course."
The one told you about first Tuesday.
Yeah. So she was like, "Study the crash course. The crash course has all the questions that's on the test." So I'm like, all right, cool. Study the crash course. It ain't nothing.
Something totally different when you...
Bruh. I took that test. So mind you, I'm studying on just the fiduciary duties, just the work and the things that you have to do, the legalities of real estate. Man, they hit me with mortgage questions. They hit me with financial questions. They hit me with broker questions. And I'm sitting there going through this test like, man, I ain't want none of this on the crash course. Right. And so that was the first try. And so my biggest thing I love telling people about the behaviors, about, your behaviors are where you want to go, because this is what I did to pass the real estate exam. So I started looking at, there's people that do pass on the first try, of the real estate exam. So I started looking at what are they doing that I'm not. And every person was like, okay, we study for 2 weeks straight, 3 to 4 hours a day. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to study for 3 weeks straight, 3 to 4 hours a day. And man, and I did that. And it's funny because I still wasn't as confident as I wanted to be going through the test, but I passed. So regardless of, it's not, and I love preaching this because this book that I read is called It Takes What It Takes by Trevor Moawad. And it's not the aptitude. It's not how smart you are. It's about your behaviors. Yeah. It's about your actions towards the things where you want to be. And, Trevor Moawad, he gives his best example, in his book. It's called It Takes What It Takes. I love it. And he gives this example. It's like, if I have an apple in one hand and if I have a bag of Doritos in the other hand, without even thinking, what's the right decision. So you got to really look at that a lot in a lot of situations. It's like, I'm going to choose the apple. I'm going to choose what's healthy and what's best for me. And I took a lot from that book, and that's one thing I constantly go in. Even with once I got into real estate, or once I passed my test, it was like, okay, well, what are the best agents doing? What are the best agents doing, to build business. And that's why I was blessed, man, to be, introduced to you and, us connect because, man, I'm getting the nitty gritty. Oh, man. Right. Some of the things that I think that I'm getting prepared for, then you come like, oh, no, man, you got to steer this way. You got to go do this because when you do this, that stuff going to come.
Right.
So I love that.
So I got a call from Richard and he was telling me about you. And so I was like, oh, that's cool. Yeah. I hope he does decide to join us or whatever. So I kind of looked at your Facebook and I added you. And then I don't know if Richard was like, can I give you his number?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he gave me your number, yep.
He called me and we chopped it up with 2 hours. I was like, I was fresh in the business again. I'm fresh.
Yeah.
But, I felt like, oh, man, I feel,
hype,
I'm hyped again.
Right.
After talking to you for an hour and a half, I got revived.
Right.
So, yeah, man, I wish you the best of success.
Thank you.
You got what it takes. You got the attitude, the energy. We're going to be all right.
Yeah. Oh, best believe. And especially with everything that's going on right now, I really feel like I said, man, this is going to be a slingshot for me. I'm building my brand. I'm building what I'm trying to do. And I'm establishing myself. But, I still got those people, that I'm getting out there. I still got those, if I got a couple deals in June that I'm about to work on that are going to get closed. So I'm very excited about that. But I really believe, man, it's about the behaviors. It's really about it's really all it is. And then, like you said, man, it's about believing, being confident in yourself.
Right.
Knowing that you're going to do it, telling yourself you're going to do it.
That's a huge thing. Trust in yourself.
Yeah.
Trust in yourself. Then when you trust in yourself, back it up with the word.
No, yeah. Oh, man. Exactly.
Winning combination.
Winning.
Like when I came in to this brokerage and met with Richard. Shout out to Richard and David McKeever, our brokers here.
Yep.
When I met Richard, I seen this white dry erase board. In the background, it says, put in the numbers, know how to close.
That's deep.
And I didn't know what that meant. But once I got into the business as a new agent and started getting hungry, I knew what it meant.
Right.
Everything you do, activity, the more activity you put in, the more opportunities will present themselves.
That makes sense.
Know how to close those opportunities for deals.
Right.
For business, new business.
Right.
And that's what I just constantly chip away at. So it's like this real estate game is illustrated to me like this. Big stone block. There's specks of diamonds, which are deals, which is business that you can close.
Okay.
You chip at it every day. You may chip at it for a week. Boop, there goes one.
Right.
Keep chipping. Even though you got this one. A lot of people sit and, I did this one, I got this one.
And they looking at it.
Yeah, and they just get so... And like this new agent that I've been meeting with, she's supposed to be joining the team here soon.
Okay.
I had to tell her, don't get caught up on the deal we just closed. Keep chipping. Get to the next one. Keep going to the next one so you can get that like a snowball effect, so to speak. And that's all it is. Keep chipping. Every time you say you have to hit the pick with the mallet 50 times. Every 50 times
I love that.
There's a deal.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure you get through that next 50 quick.
Right.
The quicker you get to them, the quicker you get the deals going. So
I love that.
Anybody that may be interested in joining the business, that's just something to think about.
Man.
I mean, it's not I'm not doing anything so special. I just like helping people. I love houses. I love homes. I love looking through them. I love showing other people. I like helping people realize their dream of home ownership.
Man.
And it's just the everything else is just the financial part of it. It's just a byproduct.
Right. And I just want people to know how attainable and possible it is to even if you don't have dreams of being an investor like myself, just getting your own home. Yeah. And it's crazy how you hear some of these mortgages that are sometimes 2 to 3 times less than the rent that's out there. And so it's like, man, home ownership, not only is a beautiful thing, it's a beautiful feeling. To say, man, I put in the effort and the time to not only get this house, but I was financially stable enough to save, to build my credit. That's a big accomplishment as an adult. And I love the fact that I could lead you and represent you on that endeavor and that goal. Right. And so I really think, man, I think this is a great way to end off, man. And, I love that analogy that you use. Keep chipping at what you're trying to do.
You mentioned First Tuesday.
Yes, I did.
So, First Tuesday is a great way to great school to learn everything real estate. I agree with you on First Tuesday.
Yeah,
I went through First Tuesday myself. Real great online school. It doesn't get in the way of your daily life if you already have a job or something, but First Tuesday is definitely the way to go.
Oh, absolutely. No, and there's so many things you can do on there, not just real estate. You can get an inspecting license and all types of stuff. And brokers as well. And that's great. So if you guys are definitely looking, for any type of, just get into some business for yourself. First Tuesday is a definitely great school to get enrolled to and get started in. If you guys really like this show, you enjoyed the show, don't forget to click the link. It's to subscribe. And don't forget, this is Derek D. Swain, your host, and my co-host,
Anthony Wolford.
Man, I'm so honored to have him a part of my show. And thank you guys for checking in with us. Until next time, we'll have a special guest with us. And so be tuned to stay for that. And again, this is From the Bottoms to the Top podcast. Have a great one.
See y'all later.